Hi, I'm Nobu.
And I'm Anna. Today we're gonna show you our own method for cooking the infamous Japanese golden curry. If you were to go into like any Japanese household, you'd find that each family has their own special ingredients that they add to the curry paste, the curry block that you get at the store. Nobu's method in particular comes from his father, who used to be an omakase chef, and then his father learned it from his grandfather, Nobu's grandfather, who had their own cooking show on NHK. NHK is like a media network in Japan. If you were to follow the instructions just on the back of the box, they're pretty boring. They tell you to add onions, carrots, potatoes, your protein, and then to add water, and then the seasoning, and that's it. But like I mentioned earlier, every family in Japan has their own sort of key ingredients that they add to make it more special.
Here's a preview of our ingredients. We use chicken for protein this time. For the liquid, we add 2 tomatoes.
To start this off, we're gonna go ahead and caramelize our onions in vegetable oil. So the only thing I think we should mention about the onion cutting stage is you want to dice it super small, because your goal with the onions is to basically caramelize them into nothing. They're just going to be a really jammy consistency that is the base of your curry.
It's like making French consomme.
Yeah. How many onions in total would you say you should use?
If it's big one, 4 I would use. If it's small one, like this size, I would just use 6 or 7.
It's kind of crazy how many onions you have to use for this, but it's worth it because you get so many meals.
It's not have to, but if you use more onion and then caramelize it well, they're gonna get sweet, and the flavor has more deep flavor into it. Onion sweet is really tasty. Like, especially you caramelize really well. It's not like normal sugar, and it's not sugar. So for the onion making, first I will put some oil, a little bit, maybe 2 tablespoons. It's around 2 tablespoons. If you're going to use olive oil, you need to use low heat to cook. But I'm using vegetable oil, so I can use high heat to save my time. Of course, olive oil is healthier, so if you consider your health, definitely use olive oil.
Or if you want like a nuttier flavor, you could use sesame oil too.
With low heat. Olive oil and sesame oil, they cannot go super high heat, because once you reach some point, I don't know about specific degree, but once you reach certain point, they're gonna produce some poison. So you shouldn't do that. They
become carcinogenic at a certain heat point.
In order to save time, usually this onion stage, if you go slow, you should take at least 45 minutes to cook. But since we want to save time, we will use high heat with water. So that way water keep evaporating, and then you will keep adding water. So high heat method is going to only take 15 minutes instead of 45 minutes. But you need to keep adding water, and then make sure you stir it all the time, because they're gonna get stick or burned.
So right now we're doing his like quick caramelization method. Pretty much anytime the water evaporates, we just add another 1/4 cup of water in. I guess just use your judgment based on how hot your stove gets in relation to how much water you want to add. So at this point we are peeling our garlic and peeling our ginger, and we're going to grind it super finely into a paste because our onions are almost caramelized. So right now we have peeled our garlic and ginger, and we're grinding it super finely into like a paste, adding it at about this stage of the onion's color. So while the onions, garlic, and ginger are finishing sauteing, we're gonna cut up some carrots and potato and sweet potato. You're gonna wanna cut it up into bite-sized pieces like this and this. If you haven't, I also have put some red wine in with our chicken breast that we're going to use for the protein portion of this. Just let it marinate for at least like 15 minutes before you start cooking, I would say. But As with any marination, the longer you can do it, the better it's gonna be. Marinating your protein in an alcohol just helps the meat be more tender, the end result. So we are going to fry our chicken and caramelized onions until the pink is pretty much disappeared. Okay, so once your onion, garlic, and ginger mixture is nice and caramelized, the order we do is we add our chicken and the red wine first. It just gives your chicken like a bit of a better texture. And then we add our root vegetables, so like the potato and carrots. Save things like mushrooms, broccoli, peas, whatever, for the stage where you've already kind of like boiled everything for a bit, because those just tend to get softer than potatoes and carrots, for example. So if you were to follow the directions on the box, they're gonna tell you to just use water. But instead of that, something we do a little bit differently is we use our homemade bone broth. We get our bones from the local meat market, and then we also use tomatoes, because tomatoes have a ton of water content in them. You're gonna need about 1,000 to 1,250 milliliters of water. So we've added all of our tomatoes and bone broth, and right now we're gonna let everything simmer on a medium heat for about 15 minutes, just until the vegetables are soft. It's our first time recording, so we sort of scorched our potatoes a little bit, so you might see some like burnt potatoes in there. Please don't mind it. I promise you it'll taste good at the end, so yeah. So at this point, you've been low boiling your stuff for about 15 minutes, and it's at this point in the game that you're gonna add your Japanese curry block. So you're gonna add in your curry blocks, break them apart into the sections that they are in the package, and then stir until you cannot see any clumps or anything in your liquid. You're gonna wanna be consistently stirring your curry so that the dissolving blocks don't get stuck in clumps like around your vegetables and protein. Once everything is dissolved in here, if you have any frozen vegetables or mushrooms that you want to add, at this point you can go ahead and do that. Now we're gonna plate it.
So the first, you're gonna put the rice. Rice is basically carbs, so you need to put around 100 gram to 150 gram. But I build muscle, so I need to eat a little bit more. This is about 100 to 150 gram, but I often eat 200 gram. Here's our tasty curry. Okay, so our curry is done. That's good. It's really good. So this is our curry making. We really like this curry because you can save approximately 10 meal amount by making once. The leftover, you just pack it along with some rice, so you can take out from fridge and then eat immediately.
And in the next video, we can show you how to take your leftover curry and make it into curry udon or curry soba.
Yes, that's what I always do when I'm in Japan. But in America, you also can do, because you can find ingredient. It's hard to find ingredient, but you can use Amazon to get that.
Or just go to your local Asian market, because there's Asian markets in every state.
Yes.
But we live an hour away, so we go on Amazon a lot.
We used to go to Asian market in Portland, but it's like take us 1 hour, so we cannot go often.
2 hours round trip to go to Asian market.
2 hours. So we switched to Amazon. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Do that already. Do that out of the kindness of your heart. Don't make us say that catchphrase.
Only if you watch our channel. If you don't, just ignore it.
We're interesting as... I shouldn't swear. We're very interesting.
Yeah, I think we are interesting. I think it's just personal opinion.
We didn't say, but this pickle that we added for future you editing, this pickle is called Takuan. It's my probably top 3 Japanese pickle to eat with grain and just to eat. Yeah.
Okay. See you guys in next video.
次の動画お会いしましょう。Peace.
次の動画でお会いしましょう。
次
つ
でお会いしましょう。Is that 敬語?
Yeah.
次の動画でお会いしましょう。Peace. Love.